Hi, my name is Bill Dupree. Today, I'm going to enlighten you about the proper ways to play and enjoy fantasy football. You know, I could just read off the computer 10 facts that somebody else wrote, but instead I'll leave that for the next guest. I'm more of the personable type, and I'd like to tell you a few things that I like to bring with me to my fantasy football draft. Number one, be there prompt and on time. Now, if your draft is at 9 o'clock, your time, be ready on your computer by 8:45 because you never know, the power may go out and you may have to switch to another device. Moving on, once you are into your draft, you have about a 5-minute grace period until your draft actually commences. Now, you may be wondering, why do I have those 5 minutes? Well, I'm going to tell you. The best thing you can do with those 5 minutes is add players to your queue. Now, maybe in another video we'll show you how to do that, but for now you'll have to take my word for it. When you add players to your queue, think about the players that you know and like. Players like Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, C.J. Money Anderson. These are all players that many of you are familiar with and are going to produce fantasy results this term. Now, there are other players besides Bronco players. I know, believe it, there actually are. Now, there's other players like Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, other former Bronco players you may want to add to your queue. Don't go in there blind is what I'm saying. Also consider going to espn.com/fantasyfootball and download one of their easy-to-use cheat sheets. This cheat sheet will neatly provide you with a list of the 1 to 100 players or so in each position. That way, you'll never be lost, my children. Now on to our next guest.
I know what you need. I know what you want. I know what you're looking for. And that's the Parmesan Don. Only the Parmesan Don can bless you with the fantasy football knowledge you need to win your league. Now, let's go over a few things that I use to win all of my leagues and go undefeated each year. Number one, understand the good and the bad teams in the NFL. There's a lot of bad teams. There's a few good teams. And only a select few elite teams, like the Denver Broncos, number one. So, New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, San Francisco 49ers. These three teams are going to compete to be the shittiest in the entire NFL. And you need to know that. Now they're going to tell you, oh, you should get the running back from every team. Let me tell you, it's a lie. Bad teams, real bad teams, like the Jets, they're going to need to throw the ball the entire time. They can't run the ball. When you're down 21-0 in the opening minutes of the first quarter, you can't afford to run the ball. They're going to throw. What I'm getting at is you don't want running backs on bad teams. For San Francisco 49ers, they get a new coach. The son of Michael Shanahan, Denver Broncos, number one. Only a miracle worker can do so much. It's going to be a bad team. They can't run the ball. Get wide receivers on bad teams. Pierre Garçon, the Niners. Corey Coleman, the Cleveland Browns. But nobody touches Robbie Anderson from the Jets. It's my man. Anyways. Recap. Don't draft running backs on bad teams. Get wide receivers on bad teams. And the same goes the other way. Good teams, the Denver Broncos. That's the only good team I can think of, but there may be others in the NFL. Now you're going to want running backs from those other good teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're decent. They got an okay offensive line. They run the ball. Get running backs on good teams because you know what? When you're winning, you want to end the game, you run the ball. So, like the Hillbilly said earlier, put players in your queue. That's a good idea. But I got 10 tips that I personally wrote. It's going to help you win your league. Come here. Rule number 1. Camera's on me, sweetheart. Thank you very much. Rule number 1. Never lose focus. The Don didn't get where he was today without always keeping his eyes on the prize, you understand? Don't lose focus. If you have children, put them on hold, put them in the corner. You can't afford for these kids to be ruining your day. Put your phone on silent and get your head in the game. You want to win, it starts with the draft. Number 2. Hold on. Put players in your queue, like it's been said the 3rd time now. The camera needs to be on me, honey. Thank you very much. How many times I have to say this? Number 3. Number 2. Put players in your queue. You don't want to come, you know what happens? You want to draft Demaryius Thomas in the 2nd round. He's not there. 2nd round, you're going down. You're going to be perplexed. You're going to be confused. The Parmesan Don may not be there to help you. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You put players in your queue, there's always going to be a fallback plan. Even for the mighty Demaryius. Next tip. Don't draft defense too early. Now I know you're going to see quarterback, running back, receiver, flex, tight end, defense, kicker. You don't have to draft in that order. But I'm going to tell you something. Wait on the defense because you can wait on the defense. Trust the Don. Next. Don't get caught up in a position run. This is simple. If a bunch of running backs go off the board, don't be pressured into it like some schoolgirl. You understand? Don't get pressured into a run. You see a bunch of the same position going, that means that there's a better player of value coming late in the draft. Alright? Come back over here. This is something even the Don has a hard time doing. Failing to separate real football from fantasy. Denver Broncos will always be number 1. But you have to understand. And listen to me now. There are other players besides the Denver Broncos. So remember that. Don't be afraid to draft from other teams. And the last tip, be informed on draft day. Do a quick Google search about the players you want to see on your draft. Maybe they died in a helicopter accident. Maybe they took a wrong turn down the wrong alley and now they got cement on their feet and they're going down the drain. You never know. These things happen. But whatever you do, just make sure you're ready this Sunday because it's going down.
Now let me tell you. Let me guess, you thought this was over, right? Wrong, big boy. We still have more things to cover. Number 1, don't forget, it's important, that's right, listen. Draft heavy on the running back and your receiver. Those are the 2 most volatile positions in the entire league. They can fall off like an arm, you can break a leg. Relax, little man. Listen, they're gonna get hurt, and that's fine. That's why you have a deep bench. You need to make sure that you draft more and more players. Running back, receiver, and then another running back. Because they're gonna die, that's what they do. They get hit hard and they don't wanna play anymore. The girly man. Relax, little boy, it's fine. So listen to me. Draft a lot of those guys. It's okay if you don't have your entire team ready. Make sure you get those, alright? The next step. Go ahead right now, as soon as you're done seeing this video. I want you to get your ass onto the computer and start looking at teams and players that you like. Because what's the point of playing if you're not winning with the people that you want to win with? Hey, this is my video. Come on. Alright? So listen, find teams that you like, find teams that win, and hey, maybe you're gonna win too. Relax. Hey, listen. I'm not gonna tell you again, alright? Relax now. You're going over the shoulder. Okay, so what have we covered? You need to draft a lot of running backs and receivers, yes? Of course, it's important. Because listen, you have 2 of running back, 2 of receiver. That's 4 players. You only need to field 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 1 defense and a kicker. So wait on them if a little bit, alright? Some are okay. You don't need to be the first one to get Aaron Rodgers. Although I know you will because you guys don't even listen to what I tell you anyways. So let's look forward. Get a lot of running backs and receivers. Hey, calm down. Get a lot of running backs and receivers. I'm going to keep telling you because that's what I want you to do. You don't need 2 quarterbacks. Not yet. When you get the bye week and then you need to fill in the quarterback, you get one off the bench, off the waiver wire. It's free. It's fine. All right? Next. Come on. Relax. Look at me. All right? Look at me when I'm talking to you. That's enough. Come on now. Look at me. You get the running back and the receiver. Wait on the defense and the kicker. It's fine. Listen, we're going to draft 16 rounds. Leave that for the double digits. You don't need to run to get the Denver defense, because guess what? They're going to cause turnovers. That's fine. So are the other teams in the NFL. Just don't get defenses from the really bad teams. The teams that they're going to get run up on. Oh, you're going to be okay there, sweetheart? Relax there. All right, now listen. Those are some tips you need. Get your ass on the computer and look at the good players out there. Know ahead of time. You're going to go buy a car that you don't know anything about at the dealership? No. And if you do, well, it's not a good idea, all right? Be prepared. It's like anything in life. If you want to succeed, you need to train hard. Isn't that right, little bear? Yes, Daddy. Absolutely. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you take everything I said into consideration. And little Bam, you're gonna be there on the fantasy day, right? Absolutely. Hasta la vista, people.